I just want to do a quick video on something I discovered. So, depoly in pathplanner, it goes from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, I believe. And depoly is like the center, between the left and right lane lines is the center. And if your car is on the left side of the lane, you're going to have a negative value like negative 0.3. Now from the right side of the lane, you're going to have a positive value like 0.3. So if you are, for example, turning left and you're steering too much into the curve, your depoly is going to be negative 0.3. And if you're turning right and you're steering too close to the curve, your depoly is going to be 0.3. Same for not steering enough. So left-hand curve, I mean it's pretty self-explanatory. Left-hand curve, 0.3 depoly, and right-hand curve, not steering enough, negative 0.3. So what you can do, the wheel counterclockwise is positive values, clockwise is negative values, counterclockwise is positive values. So what you can do is that there's two big things that you need to worry about when you deal with vehicle dynamics in OpenPilot. You have, when you're going in a straight line, and your car is having to worry about camber, the road slopes to one side or the other, you need to have some sort of angle offset to add a little bit extra steering to kind of bring you back to center, right? But in corners, how much the car steers is not just steer ratio, and it's more of tire stiffness and mass and the vehicle model stuff. That all comes down to what's called a curvature factor. So the curvature factor is that when a curve is coming up, it's a factor of how much it's going to steer in. And the curvature factor changes with tire stiffness. I believe it changes with steer ratio. But long story short, if your curvature factor is off, you're going to over or under steer in curves, and it actually impacts your straight line performance as well, how much you steer around center, because when you're not center, the depoly is negative and positive. Anyway, so I wrote a learner to take a look at the depoly, because, I mean, OpenPilot knows when it's to the left or right of center, and OpenPilot knows when it's left or right in a curve. So you can take that value and create a little learner that will offset the curvature factor to ensure that you're steering enough, that you're steering properly in curves. You can check that out on my branch in the tuning channel. It's called curvature learner or something. But I'm really excited because I went out for a drive and I had the learner enabled, of course, and it learned the curvature with my unique setup. I disabled paramslearner, and between the instant angle offset and the curvature learner I wrote, my car is perfectly straight. It steers enough to stay centered without over or under steering, so no ping pong. It goes around curves and it stays centered in the curves. And I basically no longer have any lateral control problems on my Prius Prime. So check out the code. There's something else I want to do to get rid of the instant angle offset learner as well, using much of the same method. Because if we are not center in the lane on the interstate, such as road camber, it's sloped to the left and the car is in the left hand of the lane, we know that the depoly is going to be negative whatever integer, or float. So we can use that to offset and force the car to steer more towards center, either with like an angle offset that's directly fed into controls, which may be the easiest way, or the way that it comes in OpenPilot is it's supposed to offset the depoly, so MPC will, long story short, it'll do the same thing but through MPC. I don't know how I feel about that. I kind of just like angles because it's easy to understand. Anyway, I talked enough. Have a good night.